In today's video, we're going to meet an entrepreneur who quit his corporate job, invested $2 million into a laundromat.
So the first initial investment, when I bought this store, believe it or not, I didn't have $1 to buy the store. I borrowed money from a family member.
Was the risk worth the reward? I guess we'll find out. Alrighty, we're here at Skyline Laundromats, and I'm here with
Omer Khan.
How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great. It's a beautiful place you got.
Appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about it. Where are you from?
So born in Texas, raised in Atlanta. Our family's from Pakistan. We've been in Atlanta for most of my life. I've been in Atlanta since I was 3. And Dad bought his first laundromat when I was 3.
Did he inspire you?
He inspired me.
Okay.
He's the man behind all of this. And then I just grew up in the business. I worked corporate life, but also had one foot in the door in the business. And then just kind of slowly worked my way up, and we found a couple more locations, and then I quit corporate life. And then retooling the stores, increasing the revenue on the drop-off services, self-service, pickup and delivery, and then just trying to grow more locations in town.
Oh, so it's a family business?
It's a family business.
Awesome. So how's that transition from corporate to here?
I was a consultant on the QA side. I had a couple clients, Chick-fil-A I worked at, and Pfizer was one of them, and a couple other clients between Atlanta and Jacksonville. It was a great time, but my mind and heart was always in business.
Were you scared whenever you put in your 2 weeks? Did you think that things were going to work out?
I didn't know what the future held for me, and I think that's when the laundry industry was also evolving. And that year was the first year I went to the Clean Show in New Orleans, and that's when I realized that there's something bigger and better out in the laundry world.
So how long have you been in the laundromat business for?
Full-time, almost 9 years, and we are on our 4th location, hopefully going into 5th later this year.
Okay, what location is this?
This is location number 3.
Number 3, okay,
Yes.
yeah, awesome.
So this is the location that we bought a month after I left my corporate job.
Does your family still help out with this location as well?
Yes, my dad and I are full-time in business, so he's actually at the other location where the store is being retooled.
So obviously we're going to do a walkthrough and see how things work, but why don't you tell me what your daily operations look like?
You know, I wake up every morning and I just try to plan my day out, making sure the drop-off services are being done correctly by all the staff throughout all the stores, then managing the pickup and delivery as well. And then on the self-service side as well, making sure that everything is there for the customers as they come in. We want to make sure that they don't leave unhappy. And then inventory, making sure the drinks, the snacks, the detergents, and whatever else is needed for the operations to continue running. Just trying to make sure every day that everything is in place.
What do you think was one of your hardships in developing this location and kind of doing it on your own?
I think building relationships and also making sure that you're making the right decision, because it's a family business at the end of the day. So don't want to disappoint anybody, and then finding the right staff.
Awesome, well, let's take a look around. Alrighty, let's go take a look inside. We have the sliding doors here. It's very spacious.
Yes.
Was this space always a laundromat, or are there other things here?
So there's a funny history to this. When we bought this store, when we first walked in, on this side of the store there was a barber shop, and right next to it there was a karate studio where all the jumbo washers are, and where all those dryers are. There used to be like 10 arcade machines, pool table, billiard, vending machines, like everything was like all over the place. So it was like semi-laundromat and semi-other businesses. There's subleases in here. So as their leases ended, we kind of
Was there any overlay with yours and their businesses?
About a year.
Okay.
And that gave us the time to build our plan, put everything, put our plans in place. And as their leases ended, we gave them their notice.
Yeah, well, my attention is obviously brought to this machine over here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about this? How does this work?
We invested in this last year for our drop-off services and our pickup and delivery. So we get quite a bit of commercial accounts. So we use these overnight. It's been a great add-on to the business.
What is it exactly? What does it do? Elaborate a little bit.
Full-text machine can pretty much fold a lot of your clothes, a lot of your garments, towels.
Well, over here we have the customer service drop-off area.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what happens at this desk over here.
So this is where the customer comes. This was also, part of the retool when we retooled the store. And this is where all the drop-off happens. We have all the detergents, laundry bags. Even if the customer wants to buy ice cream, they just come here and they pay with their laundry card. So it's a cashless store. This is not a coin store. So if they want to purchase anything behind the counter, they use the laundry card
You
or
get the
credit
laundry
card.
cards here at this desk as well?
No,
or?
that's at the payment center.
Okay. Well, I noticed over here you guys have some vending machines.
Yep.
Do you do that through a vendor or do you guys do all of this yourself?
Nope, we do it ourselves. We bought our own vending machines and we order our own drinks and snacks, and then we refill them. Between me and one of the staff members, we fill our own vending machines.
Is it time consuming?
It can be very time consuming, but between me and my staff and deliveries, we'll get everything in the store, and then I have good help. We'll fill it up about every 2 weeks and keep the flow going.
Awesome. Alrighty, well, let's take a look at some of these machines, and you want to go ahead and tell me why you chose these machines on this side of the wall?
So this store had around 42 or 44 washers when we bought it. And then we positioned them on this side of the store. That way, when a customer is using one of these washers, they have access to 6 load, 4 load, or 2 load, and they can go any direction, and it can be a proper flow.
Yeah, there's lots of seating as well. What was the thought process behind that, making this space comfortable as
We
possible
wanted to make
for
sure
everybody?
we have tables and seating in every row, and then we made sure that we had enough space for the customers to flow, sit, fold, and no one's on top of each other.
I feel like there's a safety aspect as well, coming in here, feeling safe, doing your laundry, being able to see everything.
100%.
Was that taken into consideration as well?
Absolutely. So when we bought the store, the first thing I did that first month, changed all the halogen lights to LED lights, added a 32 camera surveillance system. Then we added access control to make sure that our staff, ourselves, and our customers are
What is
safe.
access control?
Access control is basically I can control the store, the employee door, the front door through my phone.
Oh, you can lock it
I can lock it, unlock it, and the back doors and the front doors.
So we'll take a look at the dryers over here.
Yep, throughout the store we have 3 different sizes. So we got the 75 pounders, then we have the 45 pounders, and then on that side, on that entire wall, we have 30 pounders and 45 pounders. And then on the back wall, we have more 75 pounders.
Which machine do you see used the most?
The 45s and 75s. The 30 pounds get used because the front ones, because they're the closer ones up to the front, but customers prefer the 45s and 75s.
I see the bathrooms over here. You need a laundry card to get into the bathrooms.
Yeah, it's just
what was the thought process behind that?
We're in a shopping center, so especially when the flea market is open next door during the week, they want to send a lot of people in. So we had to control that to keep them clean for our customers and our staff. So we put a laundry card. So basically, if you're a paying customer, we make exceptions for emergency customers, absolutely, but mainly it's for paying customers.
Okay, awesome. Tell me a little bit about the Skyline over here. Was there any personalization? How did you decide you wanted to do that?
Yeah, so I wanted the City of Atlanta skyline on the back wall, so when the people come in, you know, they're like, oh wow. Ended up putting a personal touch to this skyline, which is our mosque that's in City of Atlanta. So we added that to the skyline and then the rest of the landmarks of Atlanta.
Oh wow, yeah, it's beautiful. I feel like there's kind of like an artistic ability in factoring.
Yeah.
What about the signs over here? I see like the color scheme, the signs are very neat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all of that was taken into consideration that when a customer is walking down the aisle, they can see where the 6 loads, 4 loads, jumbo washers, and the 2 loads, where everything is flowing. So they don't have to look for, you know, everything. Everything's up high. So as they walk in, they can see everything clear.
We have some temporary tattoos, some stickers, some fun stuff.
Yeah.
What made you decide to put this here?
This is one of our old-time vendors that, you know, as a family, we've been using this guy for, 20 plus years. So he wanted to keep a bubblegum machine in here. So we're like, you know what, why not?
Tell me a little bit about these
Yeah,
dryers.
so the funny thing about this wall is when we bought this store, there was no dryers on this wall. And it was just a blank wall with water pipes going through the middle of the wall in the back. So then we demolished this wall, redid the plumbing and the gas line, and then added these 75 pounders on the back wall.
Before you guys came, were they always cash only, or were they always card? Or did
The store used to be a coin operated once upon a time, then it was a card only when we bought the store.
Are your other locations card only as well?
One other location is card only, so we have 2 card only locations. We have one that's hybrid and one that's quarter only, which will become hybrid later this year.
How do those perform compared to each other, the coins versus the cards?
The card only stores are hands free. We can have more freedom with them, but with the hybrid stores, it allows both type of customers to come in the door.
Is it easier to scale as well?
It's easier to scale, it's easier to give back to the community, it's easier to give back to the customer. It's easier when the customer calls and says, our employee calls, hey, customer's having this issue, I can dispense the card from my phone. So there's a lot more flexibility whether I'm in town or out of town.
I see you have a lot of folding and a lot of the smaller machines. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we spread out our washers in different sizes in each aisle. If I had to redo it, I would do a different design, different layout this time.
How
But
come?
I would like to have multiple different size of washers in each aisle versus one size washer in each row. So that would definitely be a big change that I would do. Like in my current retool, we definitely did not make that same style in that store. I would highly advise that whenever you're retooling, always have multiple sizes in each row.
Well, I see that this place is almost spotless. Is this an attended store or an unattended store?
It's a fully attended store. The demographics and the location that we're in, it requires to be fully attended just to allow helping customers, helping if there's any issues with the washers or dryers, which it could be a water leak, it could be a dryer not heating, it could be a card reader that's not working, it could be any issues. So we firmly believe in fully attended stores.
So how many people do you have throughout your whole operations?
So we have about 25 employees, give and take, and then usually in-store attendants are one per shift. There might be overlapping, and sometimes we might have a middle shift on a light day to do extra deep cleaning of the store. And then our pickup and delivery side will have, 5 to 6 attendants plus our 3 drivers.
What happens if there's an emergency? A washer breaks, the dryers are not working. What do you do?
I know some basics of how to repair some of the machines. My father, he's very hands-on. He's super techie. He likes to, that's his me time, and he likes to repair the machines. If there's something out of his scope or he doesn't have time, we do have a tech team that we call them out once a month. And they'll come out and they'll just run to 3 or 4 stores depending on what we tell them, and then they'll go out and repair everything in one day.
Regarding the repair company, are they on commission, salary? How does that work?
They have their own business, so we call them as needed. So once they're done, either I Zelle them or I write them a check.
So as needed, does it happen pretty frequently? How often do you have to call them?
Once a month, if not every other month.
Every other month?
And that's mainly because my dad is very hands-on, and so he'll keep the machines going. As he comes, the first thing he does, he grabs his tool cart and he'll kind of just walk around the store and make sure all the machines are up and running. If there's a small repair, he'll do it. Sometimes if there's a small repair I'll do it. But if something major, then we call the...
So first line of defense, you take care of that yourself, right?
Correct. If we can, we take care of it ourselves in-house. If not, we call the tech team.
So over our shoulder, I see the payment center.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this.
So we have the laundry cart system. So we have 2 kiosks on the wall. I always recommend 2 or 3 at the minimum. If one is down, at least you have another one or 2 more working. So in our other stores, we have 3 kiosks, and it's been great. So we have the bill breaker. Sometimes customers have a bigger bill. They want to exchange and put a smaller bill. So we have that option as well.
Awesome. Yeah, the ATM over here.
Yep.
And I see, what was the lighting? How did you decide to do this? I feel like it looks very put together.
Yeah. Sometimes you go to different restaurants or malls and other laundromats in the country, and you always learn from other places you visit. So I was always inspired by different ideas. So when we were retooling the stores, I always wanted goose down lamps, my payment center. I wanted clear wordings so customers know what's where, and I think that's very important.
So I see you have a vending machine over here where you can get your detergent. Yeah, what made you decide to do this?
The main reason was we sell detergents behind the counter, and I like to keep that interaction between the attendant and the customer, and they have more options behind the counter. But sometimes the attendant has got to use the bathroom, or they're mopping the floor, or they're cleaning. They're busy, they're doing something. So the customer has the option, use their credit card, and they can buy almost, not everything, but some stuff here.
So the self-service counter came first?
That came first.
Okay, and then this?
This came during the retool.
Now that we've seen the store, let's go a little bit more behind the scenes, shall we?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So the first behind the scenes that we have is going to be the bulkheads behind the washers.
Yep.
Do you mind giving us a look?
Absolutely. These are the plumbing work that we did behind the washers. Made sure we have enough space for us in-house, or when the repair guy comes, to have enough space to do the work. So this is it, and we have a light, so there's enough lighting.
Yeah,
So
were these custom made?
these were custom made with a company called Duncan. So they made these bulkheads, and then at the time when these bulkheads came from Alabama, they had mentioned to us that these were the longest bulkheads at that time that they've ever made in history.
Oh, wow.
So when they came, how we got it off the 18-wheelers and the box truck and brought them down and brought them inside was fun.
Did you have any problems with the wiring or anything like that at first?
Not at all. Everything is
seamless?
perfect. Yeah, seamless.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wonderful.
So we've seen behind the washers. Do you mind showing us behind the dryers?
Let's do it.
Okay. So So do you vent from the top or from the side?
No, we vent from the top. That's how we bought the store. It was venting from the top, but that's also because we have tenants on both sides. So, but for better efficiency, it's always better to go from the top of the roof.
Do you vent from the top at all of your other locations as well?
Yes, all locations are top.
Okay, I don't see any lint anywhere. What's the upkeep of this place?
We do a monthly maintenance. I have a guy that comes out, cleans out all our dryer rooms, sweeps, dust, vacuum, and we just try to keep it as clean as possible.
I mean, it looks very organized back here. Can you tell us a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, so over here we put some Metro shelvings and then some tote boxes with different parts for different machines of different machine brands. So we have some, extra parts over the years from older machines, but now that we've retooled, we just have a lot of spare parts. We need a part, whether it's in-house repair or we call the service tech. He knows where to come. He gets whatever part he needs, and then he goes and repairs.
How often do you say you call them?
About once a month, if not once every other month.
Okay, so same with like the washer and over there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, for all the stores.
Let's take a look at more of the pickup and delivery side of things.
Let's do it. Come on in.
Alrighty, so what is this room called?
This is our all-in-one production room. We operate all our stuff for other stores as well from here. So when we bring in detergents, everything gets over here. When the orders come in, when the drivers bring in the orders for the pickup and delivery, they come in the bag, they get weighed over here. And then when the night attendants come, the processors, when they come in at nighttime, then they pick their packets, and then they go and do the washing and drying and folding all in the front.
Do you want to walk us through the process of the pickup and delivery?
Yep, so when the drivers come in, they bring in the orders exactly where we're standing. They weigh them, they enter them in the computer, everything gets printed, and then they lay out the packets for the processors on this table. And then they get organized in the carts through each route. We have 3 routes, and then we dedicate 1 row for the commercial routes. So then everything will get organized. As the processors come in, they pick up their packets, then they'll go and look for the orders, and then they start pulling them to the front.
Now I see all these chemicals back here. What's going on over here?
Yep, so this is where we buy detergent in bulk. It gets used for the softeners. We have another room on that side where all the other types of detergents get delivered. And then so we kind of have 2 spots where they're pulling different detergents from.
Okay, and these machines over here, do you mind telling me a little bit about those?
Yep, these are some of the machines that just came out from the other retool. So we're setting them here and then at my other warehouse. And as the retool finishes, then the goal will be to set the machines, and then we'll come out with a proper layout to, figure out something for the production facility.
And you had mentioned other tools from other machines back there as well. Do you find yourself using tools from machines at other locations to machines at this location?
Yes. So it's mainly the parts. So when we pull out the parts, if we're disregarding a machine, then there might be some major key parts that we know that this is working and it's expensive. So we definitely will put them and organize them in a tote box. So as the machines get repaired, then if we need to pull out, then we pull it out from there.
Yeah, so you're reusing it, making sure you save some money there?
As much as we can. Another room that we've built over the years, and we'll get a bulk of detergents that come in, and we'll just keep extra in stock. So that way we have at least a couple months of stock. That way we don't have to go buy detergents on a monthly basis or weekly basis.
So you never run out?
Try not to. There are times where we do run out. There's an empty shelf right here. So the next week we're going to be getting a delivery in, a couple of pallets. That way we're good to go for a couple of months moving forward.
So tell me a little bit about the commercial accounts that you've gotten.
So we have multiple commercial accounts. So we have a gaming studio where people get hit by the paintball. And so these are like jumpsuits that come in every morning. Then we have some spas, we have some gyms, we have a lot of customers that go to hotels. So, probably travelers. So they'll be sending in stuff. And then we have a lot of like med spas and massage parlors, chiropractors, dental clinics. So a lot of mix of those type of clients that send in towels or sheets or Airbnbs. So we have a lot of those as well.
All right, so what does a work day look like for you?
My work day is very different every single day. I wear a lot of different hats. You got to worry about the accounting, got to worry about your daily, revenue coming in, going out, mortgages going in and out, got to pay the rent. And then on the same token, staffing, maintenance of the machines, upkeep of the stores. And so there's a lot that's going through my mind on a day-to-day basis. On that note, I recently just hired a bookkeeper.
A bookkeeper?
Bookkeeper, even though we already have an in-house CPA, but I hired a bookkeeper to offload a lot of that computer task off of my shoulder so that I can focus more on the business than working in the business 24/7 all the time. So been doing that for the last 3 to 4 months. So that's been like a great addition to my day-to-day. So I've been spending a lot of time with her through, phone calls, Zoom calls on the computer, giving her all, access to a lot of information that I'm not used to giving access to, someone else. But it's been a good transition.
How often do you bring on new employees?
The goal is to never bring a new person.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, to keep them as happy as possible and for them to continue, but things change. People have to move on. So it happens once or twice a year.
How many hours a week do you work on all of the stores?
I'm putting roughly, I would say about 10 hours a day, and I work about 4 to 5 days a week. But even if I'm not at the store, at the source, even if I'm at home, I'm doing office work, computer work, billing, or going and doing inventory. So even when you're not at work, you're working.
Never stops.
It never stops, especially if you have 2 24-hour stores. 24-hour around the clock, you wake up.
Okay, so give me some insight into some of the technology used, not only with the washers and the dryers, safety measures, all of that.
First thing first, surveillance system that we first put in when we first bought the store. We put in a 30-camera surveillance system. So that was definitely a, important add-on to the business. Secondly, the POS system. That's been a very great addition to our drop-off services or even selling anything behind the counter. It's a great product. We use the wash, dry, fold POS system that's ran by Brian and Ian. I stand behind their product and it's great. And then we have the cart system, which is basically used for all the washers and dryers. It's used at the counter to enter the bathroom. And then one other store is also CCI, so customers have the option to use the same card at both stores. So that's been a great help as well. And then with this benefit, it allows us to do different pricing on different days or overnight or, attendant when they're doing their wash and folds for the customers. I can just add money from my phone right away. So just try to be as simple as possible, but as hands-off as well with whatever technology we can use within our industry.
It gives you a little bit more flexibility.
100%.
So what do you think is the most efficient piece of technology that you've put in this location to make things go more seamlessly?
There were 3 major ones. 1, access control. 2nd, the cart system. And 3rd, the POS system.
So is that something you recommend for other laundromat business owners?
100%.
So when choosing this space, did you look at other locations before deciding on this one?
So when this came up for sale, it was no brainer to just buy this as soon as possible. Funny story, we were able to close on it in less than 3 weeks. So I did not do any other research. I was like, I just want the store, so I don't have to go back to corporate America. That was my goal. But yes, part of this center, it has multiple tenants. We have a flea market on this side. And then there was a store called Value Village, but there's another big retailer coming here. I think sometime next year. There's construction going on over there right now. And then there's just a lot of residential in the area and commercial, and there's a college down the street. So, yeah.
Do you think the location attributes to the success of the laundromat?
Absolutely, 100%. I think any laundromat, it always comes down to the location, for sure. If you're on a dead street, then, it's going to be tough to run a big store. But we're on a very busy street, and this location has been stapled here for 30 plus years. So everyone knows us in the neighborhood.
So we're in the office now. We're going to get a little more personal.
Right.
I know that this store has taken a lot of hard work and investment with your time, but if you could tell me some of the finances, that kind of investment.
So when this store was up for sale, at that time, for me, it was a big number, but when you go look back at it today, it was almost to nothing. We paid, a few $100,000 for this location, but with the retool and all the other investments over the years, we're $2 million plus into the location, and it's been a big investment, a big number. But now when you're doing a retool today and you compare it to that time, it was a great time that we were able to capture this business with today's interest rates and equipment costs and construction costs at that time, and you compare the two, it's night and day difference. So no regrets.
How long did it take you to kind of get back onto your feet and start making some profit?
Yeah, so the first initial investment when I bought this store, believe it or not, I didn't have $1 to buy the store. I borrowed money from a family member, and we made a promise to him and paid him off in 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And after we paid him off, then it was that's when we did the retool. And during that is when after the retool is when we started making money.
So are there any special events that you've held here?
So we had the Laundry Cares Foundation when we had the Clean Show here in Atlanta in 2022, I believe. And it was probably one of the most successful events I've done. I've done 2 free laundry days, but that was probably the most closest to my heart. We gave back to over 300 families that day.
Oh, wow.
We had our local Chick-fil-A participate and give out free chicken sandwiches to our customers. And we had free ice cream. We had a medical team on site. We had a doctor, pharmacist, dentist, just giving free consultation, not prescribing anything, but just free consultation to customers that had any questions. So it was a very engagement, and then we had over 50 volunteers, if not more, that were helping to facilitate all the customers that were coming in and going and washing and drying for free that day. So it was a beautiful event, and I can't wait to do it again.
Well, that sounds like an awesome event.
Yeah.
And that was with the CLA organization, correct?
Correct.
How long have you been a member?
About 4 years now, I believe. And I think it's been definitely a great part of being part of the CLA as well as a laundromat owner. I think it goes hand in hand, and I think it's important to be part of the CLA. That way it keeps you engaged, you learn new things, and you go to local networking events and you meet them, they come and go, and I think it's a great way to do something outside of your day-to-day operation as well.
Yeah, how did you find out about CLA?
I went to the Clean Show back in my first Clean Show in 2018, and that's when I learned about CLA. So I've been actually part of CLA since 2018,
for a while
so more
now.
than 4 years. Yeah.
How would you say they've contributed to your success?
A lot in many ways, especially in my networking ways, whether it was meeting other laundromat owners in town, whether it was meeting people at Eastern Funding for my loans that I get, or just going to other events throughout the country, like the Excellence Conference, the Wash Dry Fold Conference, the Clean Show. So they've motivated me to go to these events, and it's helped me meet people across the country, build friendships and relationships, and just trying to be a better business owner every day.
So what's some advice that you'd give some new potential investors in the laundromat business?
I think 2 important things are networking and finding the right distributor. I think everything else, once you have that trust and that relationship, then you will naturally find either an old location or a new location. Distributors always have locations on site. Even if you have your own location that you want to go into, if you have a good distributor relationship, then everything will start falling into place.
So kind of meeting the right people, setting that foundation up?
100%.
Well, thanks to the CLA, the preeminent resource for laundry professionals, for introducing us to Omer and Skyline Laundromats. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for making me part of this journey.
Of course, like and subscribe.